Let's get right to it. Let's get right to business. So, earlier today, right before my show, as a matter of fact, which kind of, my radio show, which kind of guided me. By the way, does our friend who we saw tonight, who we were talking to, they listen to the podcast, right?
Occasionally. I don't know if they're like all the time listeners.
She asked me, these are our friends. They live in a town next to us. They're a great couple with great kids. She said, what do you do exactly, your job today? And I said, oh, yeah, I'm on the radio on WTIC. It's the midday show in Connecticut. And she said, yeah, didn't you used to be in the media? I thought, that's painful, obviously, to hear. Or did you used to be in journalism? And, I was in journalism, I guess. When I worked for the newspaper, there's no doubt.
You were the editorial page editor of the Boston Herald and the editor of the Lowell Sun and the Lawrence... no, not Lawrence. What was the other thing you were editor of out in Western Mass?
Fitchburg,
or
Sentinel,
Central Mass, I guess.
Right, and a couple of others.
Don't want to be yelled at by anybody in like Worcester who says that they're not Western Mass.
Can I... I understand all of our friends have their own lives. Mm-hmm. But I want to be treated like more of a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. Did I hear somebody on the radio today actually asking you about being the great and powerful Tom?
Yes,
when you were talking about being the great and powerful Tom?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, somebody, a Michael Graham fan. Mike in the truck, who used to call all the time for Michael Graham. I had forgotten it, but then he jarred my memory. That's right. So there's one.
There you go.
I need contemporaries around here and up the street. I think that our friend up the street, our two friends,
yes,
and our two friends, one of whom was today at karate. Mm-hmm. I need to feel more famous.
I think there are quite a few people in some of the circles I hang around in, like Republicans, who feel that to whom being the great and powerful Tom is still a thing.
Yeah, but that was just 10 years ago. Was this gig?
I know.
I want
more than
tell
10.
Tell your friends
more than
to be
10 now. That ended at the end of 2012, so it's like almost 11 years.
Tell
now
more people to be awkwardly standoffish and in awe of me. You know what the problem is that everybody has their lives now, and everybody's too busy, and nobody's got amplitude modulation.
True. The AM thing is tough.
Well, no, I shouldn't say nobody. Actually, down in Connecticut, that was very.
You have fans come to your stuff in Connecticut, that's for sure.
That's right.
They bring you cannons.
Yes, that was great. Thank you again, by the way, for that. Cannons and all sorts of wonderful things. But I do, yeah, okay.
And eggnog. You'll be seeing some of those fans in Connecticut. If you feel that Tom's really famous and you cannot wait to meet him in person, he's going to be in Connecticut multiple days.
Don't be standoffish. Don't worry about it. I was a fan, too. I'll sign anything. If an attractive woman asked me to sign, like, her bra.
Sure, honey, go for it.
No, I'm not asking you permission. It's no... Obviously, I'm doing that. There's no freaking doubt. But let me tell you something. You'll be there in real time because I will be showing you that this thing is happening and how cool I am and that I've hit my apex. And then I'm going to walk into traffic and get hit by a truck, and then I'm going to say goodbye.
You're going to go out on a high note?
That is absolutely... it's highly unlikely that that's going to happen, though. I wouldn't think it's going to... I don't even think people sign bras anymore.
Don't they... Isn't it like, aren't you supposed to sign like the actual like boob? Isn't that like how that works?
Well, I usually opt for the bra.
Okay.
But I'm offered everything. Okay. So this is a bad segue because we're about to talk about, well, okay. Okay. Okay, we're going to start somewhere different then. Let's start with the Joe Biden tweet. This is just a freaking, it's the most, this is.
In some ways, he's almost as funny on Twitter as Trump was.
This is
unintentionally,
the only thing
of course.
You need to know. When my kids ask me someday, what was the Biden administration like? All you have to do
is send them the screenshot.
Is read this. This is. Yeah, I love that. There's a whole bunch of community notes on it.
Yeah.
Now.
I don't think it's really Joe Biden tweeting this, by the way.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I know but yeah,
the fact that it went past so many eyes.
Yeah, there's a team of people that came up with this.
Yeah, that means
and I think this has to do with what we've been talking about since Sunday when we watched the Sunday shows and all those Democrats sat there and were like, the Biden administration really needs to pivot on this because the Bidenomics messaging is not working and he's not getting credit and Democrats aren't getting credit for all the great work we've done on the economy. And I think this is an attempt at changing up the we're so successful on the economy messaging. Doesn't it feel like that? Like they're trying to shift their tone to seem like more like they're doing something on the economy?
Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah, this is...
It's somehow worse than the Bidenomics messaging,
I
though.
don't understand. I don't get it. Like, you're still running on the economy because it's the economy, stupid? Americans feel...
It's the economy stupid means if the economy's good, that's good for the incumbent. And if it's bad, then that's bad for the incumbent.
So here's a Joe Biden tweet. Let me be clear. This is already a bad start.
Isn't that kind of an Obama go-to?
Well, Obama, John Kerry, would you say, no, listen, now hold on. And they'd clear the deck of any of your thoughts or whatever and put on a statement. It strengthens the statement that it stands alone on its own pillar. Let me be clear to any corporation. By the way, this is so sinister. Let me be clear to any corporation that hasn't brought their prices back down, even as inflation has come down. It's time to stop the price gouging. Give American consumers a break. The utter irresponsible, dangerous scapegoating is incredible.
It's also totally economically illiterate because, first of all, it suggests that inflation is something other than the prices being high, that it's some magical economic force, and that, that companies raising prices is something other than inflation. Inflation just means how much prices went up, right? So there's no the prices keep going up even though inflation is down. Well, that's all inflation is prices going up. That's what it means. It's a measure of prices going up.
Well, I don't even... even saying that is giving it too much credit. Any corporation that hasn't brought their prices back down? F you! Do you understand the pressures that these corporations are? And to call it price gouging? I would effing impeach this guy again for this. I'd be 7 impeachments in, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
You talking the American private sector telling them to stop price gouging? You stop price gouging, you POS.
Yeah, stop screwing up the economy. Stop printing money.
Right. Price gouging. You just... A caller, friend of the show, has had $100,000 of college cleared. Didn't ask for it. Just got a thing from the Department of Education. Guess what? We took care of it. F you, price gouging. You piece of shit. This is freaking incredible.
Well, yeah, and I for sure know people. I'm sure you know people, and I'm sure there are plenty of listeners to your show that have businesses that sell stuff, whether goods or services. And to be told, stop price gouging, jerks. I fixed the inflation. Now it's on you.
It's a tampering that this guy has done is incredible.
It's so insulting.
Yeah, and if you, Connecticut went down yesterday, the EV mandates down. Today, New Jersey went down. And now the automakers are starting to tell the truth about stuff. There's a glut of EV cars out there. They're stacking up in dealerships. They can't move the things.
This was reported on the Burn Barrel podcast months ago. The huge number of days of supply of EVs sitting on lots. I forget if it was a caller to one of the shows or a voicemail message someone left or what. Or, someone talking to us in person, as I suppose people also do. Somebody was saying that they were at a dealership buying a car, and the person said, oh, don't even look at the EVs. They're junk. Don't bother. The salesperson.
I had a guy call in today, a sales guy from an auto dealership. They can't get rid of the EVs. They can't move them. They need the space, literally. A guy came in. They moved one. A guy came in who had a Dodge Bolt already. Right. So he was looking to switch, and they say, okay, there's one. We can convert this guy.
So do all the people who want to mandate EVs for other people, all the cars need to be EVs by 2035, do they realize that this is America and it's a free country and they can go into car dealerships and buy EVs all day long if they want to?
Right. Well,
it's
not
available.
Only that, but the Connecticut
legislature
is mandated, is part of the people who love this idea of mandating these EVs. And one of our listeners, a friend of the show, has been digging up information, and none of them have EVs.
Right. This is like the magic wand theory of governance, where, Joe Biden has been granted a magic wand to magically make the corporations lower their prices for consumers, where, you know, the Connecticut legislature has been magically granted a magic wand where they can just bippity boppity boo and make the electric cars meet people's needs. You know what? We'll just mandate it. And then the companies will rise to the occasion and somehow make electric cars that people want to buy. Like, if they knew, companies like selling stuff. So if they knew how to make electric cars that people wanted to buy, I'm sure they'd already be making them. In fact, they're making way too many electric cars that people don't want to buy in response, in large part, to a lot of the incentives that the federal government already puts on electric vehicles and stuff. So the idea that you can have the government demand something and the world will just line up to that that's how Democrats think that governing works.
Yeah, it's so incredible.
But I think it's part of protest culture. Like, because you're seeing this too with the Palestine Gaza stuff. There's a bunch of leftist protesters who are like, but we've tied ourselves to everything and we've yelled and screamed and we've thrown red paint over monuments dedicated to Jewish people and we're doing everything and somehow there's still not a ceasefire. What do we have to do? Like, well, the real world is out here and it doesn't respond to you just throwing a tantrum. The real world, prices don't respond to Biden going on Twitter and saying, you guys better lower prices. See, look, I did something. I'm presidenting. It doesn't work that way, right? The realities about electric vehicles don't realign themselves because the Connecticut legislature says so. This is just how this works. Governance has to respond to the world as it is, not the world as Democrats wish that it were. You know, there's no rule saying that the government of Israel has to listen to American college students. It doesn't work like this. But progressives have been raised to believe somehow that if they kick and scream and cry enough and make the right posters and sit in the right office, that the world is going to change to suit them.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. You can't protest your way or demand your way or legislate your way towards a different version of reality. It's just not possible. You're not God.
To tell the private sector that they're price gouging after you created the elements that require them to raise prices that they desperately don't want to raise. Mm-hmm. They want, Philadelphia cream cheese wants to move a lot of cream cheese.
Yeah.
It's so freaking perfect. This guy's a POS. This administration blows, suck. Let me tell you one thing. Talking about the hostages, a tiny thing I love is this little tweet showing that girl Emily holding up her kidnapped poster.
Yeah.
She's holding up her own poster and she's smiling, looking at it for whatever reason. I assume that she's starting to become alive again. But it's a kind of a beautiful picture. And the tweeter, Aviva Klampas, do you follow her? Has been great.
I've been seeing
I think
her
she's
tweets.
an Israeli.
I don't know.
So the girl's holding up her picture, looking at herself in the mirror, and it's smiling. And the tweet is a great tweet. It says, I hope every horrible person who tore down her poster sees this. It's a great point. So people tore down this poster of this little girl, thought they were cool and useful.
Sick freaks. By the way, if anyone is still confused about who are the good guys between Hamas and Israel, there's two chunks of news today. One is that Hamas has claimed responsibility for an attack at a bus station in Israel where a gunman mowed down a bunch of civilians, including a pregnant woman.
There were two of them there.
Two gunmen, I guess.
This video out.
So, yeah, I have attempted not to see it because I can't take how dark Twitter is sometimes. I just really, some of this stuff is so disturbing. So then that B-Bus family that Bethany Mandel's been tweeting about so much, that's the 10-month-old baby hostage and his 4-year-old older brother and their mom and dad have all been hostages. Hamas is now returning the mom and the two children dead. So that's part of their latest hostage list. And Israel's not pleased about this, obviously. But they're claiming that they died in an Israeli airstrike, which even if it's true, which I highly doubt, still their stupid fault.
Well, but here's the thing. In this Aviva Klampas, I think she's the one who mentioned that can't possibly be true because the ceasefire happened. They said they sold them 2 days ago.
Right.
Ceasefire has been in place. So They're obviously lying. The father's been begging.
They've told a series of 3 lies. Now they're releasing videos where the father, presumably at gunpoint, has to say that he's upset about the Israeli airstrike, giant quotation marks, the Israeli airstrike killing his wife and 2 sons, which of course one assumes is not true because you can't believe anything Hamas says. So anyway, that's Hamas. Happy ceasefire, you guys. I hope you're all proud of advocating for the ceasefire so that Hamas could do stupid stuff like this.
These are Connecticut college kids. This is a wrap from Fox 61. This is yesterday.
The students here tell me it was really important for them to all be together at the exact same time at all different universities and schools across Connecticut, telling me it was a beautiful and powerful moment. A moment of silence Wednesday afternoon for the people of Palestine, as students from 7 Connecticut colleges and universities gathered to show solidarity and support.
And we're all doing the same thing, even if we're doing it differently. At the end of the day, we're calling for the same thing.
The main goal for these students, an immediate ceasefire in the ongoing war.
In this context,
by the way, yesterday there was a ceasefire.
Right.
It was broken today.
Just like there was a ceasefire on October 6th.
Exactly.
Also, the word ceasefire in this context means Israel doesn't get to do anything to Hamas, and Hamas gets to kill civilian Israelis and rape them and behead them and set them on fire and kidnap them and use them as hostages and torture them and everything else. That's Hamas gets to do. Ceasefire means Hamas gets to do all of that, and Israel can't do anything about it.
Because colonizers.
I also, by the way, heard somebody. I don't remember where it was. Somebody was saying that, like, oh, well, the Israelis also use the slogan from, like, the Jordan to the sea, meaning the Jordan River to the sea. And how come it's not genocide when they say it? Because, you guys, Israel is an existing country that is located between the river to the sea. So if Israel says that they are from the river to the sea, they're talking about an existing reality. If you say that you want something else to be from the river to the sea instead of the country that's there right now, then you mean you want to get rid of the country, which is genocidal. So I can't take the stupid backwards upside down logic that everybody has about this.
No.
Hamas.
We're not only calling for like 5 days, 2 days, we're calling for a permanent one. So that would be the difference between the one that's happening right now and what we're calling for.
I'm grieving the loss of people who could do so much more with their life and how it's cut short, regardless of where they are.
At Yale, students painted red teardrops onto a canvas, sitting around a banner with the names of Palestinians killed.
We gather in silence to stand for peace and ceasefire in Gaza.
Students at the University of New Haven held signs and gave speeches.
People who want peace should just demand that Hamas surrender. That's the easy answer here. This is nice and simple.
It's not about
You could have the terrorists go away. You could have the terrorist threat end and let Israel actually occupy Gaza, or an international coalition or whatever you want to have there that's going to stop terrorism from being there. But if you have a whole region run by terrorists who want to kill you, you can't continue to sit there and let them just do this with total impunity. It's insanity. It's insane.
Remember, this isn't... They were all celebrating the moment the attack happened. So this is as a result of the attack.
Then held signs and gave speeches.
It's not a Muslim issue. It's not a Palestinian issue. It is a human issue.
Freaking moron. I want all of these colleges to go up, belly up. I just wish I could just inhabit the bodies of the parents of these kids so I could tell them that you're done with college right now. Because these effing morons are going to be decision makers. These effing foolish morons.
We are human at the end of the day. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want this to seem as if I'm antagonizing someone of a certain ethnic background. We just want this to end.
And I hope those...
We just want you to stop causing the terrorists any pain and grief. That's what we'd like. Stop putting pressure on the people that are, trying to behead babies and kill them and kidnap them and use them as bargaining chips to get terrorists released from prison.
This is Yale. I just want it to end. How much critical thinking is that? Oh, you mean it? Oh, we didn't know that was an option. Okay, I just want it to end.
Those in Palestine feel their support.
Although the people of Palestine can't see all the action that's happening because their internet's cut off and because they're basically cut off from the world.
Wow, Israel cut off their internet. Can you imagine that?
that they feel the Ummah, the community, be stronger and grow every day.
I still feel like in spite of all of this, things...
By the way, the B-roll is showing...
Is that girl Muslim?
Yeah, I guess so.
Ummah girl? Okay.
The B-roll is showing the red teardrops being painted. Like, Fox 61 is all in on this. They're so excited.
So bizarre.
Can get better, and they will get better. You just have to believe.
Jesus. No,
These students tell me they're calling on elected officials to push for this change. Earlier this week, Connecticut's Senator Chris...
Damn it! Let me wonder if there's another version, because the version I had there was more to this, including some more sign. It was basically River into the Sea stuff. Forget it. Anyway, we hear it enough. I don't want to get anybody more angry than we already are. Yeah, so that's happening now, and these. This is my feeling is this, because a lot of these people are adamant that, it said the martyrs. We stand with the martyrs. We stand with the martyrs. A lot of this is said. A lot of these college kids.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, and this is my hope, that they're already swept away with this pro-Hamas feeling. It's like kids, would wear Che Guevara hats. Oh my goodness, something heroic's happening with the martyrs, with the resistance against colonizers. If they're already willing to go out in public and do this and rip down little pictures of little kids who've been kidnapped or murdered, this and that, then I think that they're supporting the cause. They're supporting Hamas. I mean this, Alice. I would love for somehow us to provide transportation for them to go to Gaza.
And
join Hamas.
Totally.
And take up the arms against the colonizers. I would be all for... I would love that. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to want my own countrymen dead, but...
Some Republican should promise to provide transportation on the Republican
rifle.
side.
Get down there, Harvard students. That's fantastic. Fight the Intifada. Go ahead. Frigging... Some more Musk? Should we play some more of this new Musk?
Sure, yeah. So this is all from this interview where he told the advertisers to GFY. But there's a bunch of good parts to this, but this was another one that I happened across.
Tesla has done more to help the environment than all other companies combined. It would be fair to say that, therefore, as a leader of the company, I've done more for the environment than everyone else, any single human on Earth.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you personally how you feel about that, because we're talking about power and influence and...
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Okay, he says.
Tesla has done more to help the environment.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I stepped on him right when I needed to, too.
Yeah. The other audio that's out there that is just incredible is Portnoy. This is just a couple hours ago, taking on big tech and YouTube, essentially. So interesting developments in this sort of like big tech
should
internet
we tell the background,
censorship.
or should Portland do
well, this is about. He'll explain what happens here, but
Barstool Radio, Barstool Sports is having a Survivor takeoff thing that they have.
Yeah, it's a reality game show with the personalities. The reason we're aware of it, of course, is because Kirk Minahan is on it, and it got quite a lot of views yesterday, or whichever day that was, earlier this week, because the new episode that was out a couple days ago, Kirk blows up on everybody, essentially. And
blows up on everybody, and he wishes for somebody's house to be burned down or bombed, etc.
Jeff Delo's house to be blown up,
which is it's a very standard Kirk Minahan jab that wishing aloud for this to happen. I believe he wished, after all our animals get killed, and the family get killed,
that one of our children would die.
Yes, but I believe the house gets burned down in that one too.
Probably, yeah.
Which is not a problem. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, but with nobody in it.
All right, real quick surviving Barstool update. If you're looking for this on YouTube, we had to pull the episodes. I got a call 25, 30 minutes ago from Gaz with our YouTube liaison. And YouTube was basically like, you're getting strikes. because what, I don't know, Minahan's threatened to blow up Jeff DeLo's house and who knows. So they're like, violence, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not changing the fucking episodes. I know what's coming. If they need us to edit that, you gotta edit a bunch of shit. No. This is Barstool. We're doing our fucking way. Fuck YouTube if they're not smart enough to actually watch a reality show and realize what's going on. Fine, whatever. So we're not putting it on YouTube anymore. Does it hurt us distribution? Yeah, obviously. The past 3 episodes are going to go live on Barstool TV. I know a lot of people may whine. The future episodes are going to go pay-per-view, $9.99. We're setting it up now. You get the whole season. I think there's 6 more episodes, live finale, $10. I think if you've watched it, you'll admit it's worth the price. We got to make up the money.
By the way, good on the rapid reaction team at Barstool for making chicken salad out of this. I mean, well done.
That we're going to lose with all that shit. Shout out Factor, by the way, for letting us do it, because they obviously thought it'd be on YouTube as well. But listen, the show is the fucking show, and I would rather eat my fucking insides and smash my dick with a hammer than have to change the fucking show to make YouTube happy about something like some of the brain just watch it, be like, it's a reality show, okay? It's fucking not real. Whatever, it is what it is. So that's the update. I'm not sure when the first 3 episodes will end up on Barstool TV. I think they're on Twitter at some point. Also, if Elon wants to cut me a check, I'll do that too. But yeah, so that's the situation. As of now, the next episode, which airs Monday, will be pay-per-view for the season, $10, not that much money, win-win. Fuck you, YouTube.
So there you go. Obviously, in the comments, the head of Rumble has already reached out asking Portnoy to DM
Everybody's
him,
rapid reaction team is out there. Here we go.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I think Barstool is a big enough deal where if
By the way, I want to find the bitchy person who reported them. We have POS you get
it could be that, or it could be YouTube uses a lot of, I mean, they create transcripts of everything. You know what I mean? Like they can tell what the words say. That's how they're so good at recommending related videos and stuff. And how they can immediately tell if you have any copyrighted content. They comb through that audio and look for violations automatically. So who knows how it went. I mean, although if the threats thing, if that were automatic, you would think that like KMS would be taken down every week. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm not sure, but or maybe they've cracked down on it or something, or maybe that just had more views and got more scrutiny. I don't know, or somebody could have reported it, I suppose. But yeah, good for Portnoy, good for Barstool on like not changing it or editing it, trying to adjust or whatever. But I think what's that?
It's this incredible, freaking incredible tweet from UN Women.
Okay.
This is United Nations Women, UN Women.
Mm-hmm.
The graphic just said, "I've never been violent to women," in quotes. Violence against women comes in many forms, yada, yada, yada. And they have a 3 bullet points under the tweet from UN Women. It says, catcalling her is violence. Stalking her is violence. Forbidding her from going back to work is violence. Bethany Mandel tweets out there, "I genuinely think they're trolling us with brutal rapes of Israeli women and their refusal to give any bleeps whatsoever about them."
Can you please forbid me from going back to work?
But can you imagine that with what's happening in Israel? Not just nothing?
Yeah. Wow. The UN is so terrible. The UN's so bad. Before we go to the
I want to hear Tyler Fisher's Ben Shapiro impression.
Oh, it's really good. This is really a promo for the Lady Ballers movie that comes out tomorrow,
right.
But it is a good Ben Shapiro impression. So.
Hey, what's up, guys? I am going to show you how to do the best Ben Shapiro impression. So first, you want to just start speeding up your voice like this, like maybe plug your nose a little bit. He's a little nasally, and then maybe tilt your head down, and here we go. And now we're locked in. And you really want to speed it up like really fast. If you think it's fast, go as fast as humanly possible. And you want to cut to sponsorships. You want to do sponsors every 5 seconds. There we go. And now I'm going to show you like the most important part, and this is the part that you really need to pay attention.
But first, Lady Ballers is coming out Friday night.
That's the real Shapiro.
And you have to be an annual subscriber. Go check it out right now. Annual subscriptions, new annual subscription, 50% off. Lady Ballers. This guy's in it.
Okay, that was pretty good, but really not as good as mine. So you really want to go a lot faster than that because I don't know what that guy was doing, but you really got to speed it up as fast as humanly possible.
We're Tyler Fisher guys.
Yeah, we like Tyler Fisher. We are going to go watch the movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Lady Ballers tomorrow. Tonight is the DeSantis-Gavin Newsom debate, which sadly doesn't matter, but that's at 9 p.m.
Wait tomorrow for that.
I mean, I suppose in a sense it matters more than the Republican primary debates that don't have Trump in them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
just because there's probably going to be a little bit more content there, something. I don't know. We'll see. I assume DeSantis will be on point and make great points. I assume Newsom will be on point and make great points. They're both really good at stuff like this, so...
I kind of feel like before we go to the chat, we've got to, and we go.
I have to tell a story.
Yeah,
too.
we got to play this Thomas Friedman thing with Anderson Cooper.
Okay,
Friedman
I didn't see
of the
this.
New York Times.
Okay.
Here's Tom Friedman of the New York Times. Loopy New York Times columnist pushes Israel to give free pass to Hamas terrorists. Remember, Friedman's a really brilliant thinker. A thinker, right? Isn't he somebody like helping Biden with foreign policy too?
I'm not sure.
I think we really need to be talking about a conclusion. Maybe Israel says, look, here's a free pass for all the Hamas leadership. Go to Turkey, go to Qatar, whoever wants to leave.
Do they want them there?
Turn in your weapons, return the hostages. We'll give the Palestinian prisoners a release. I think we have to really get out of this ceasefire, no ceasefire, and think about something that gets the Hamas leadership out there, puts in a new Palestinian leadership in partnership with Arab countries, gets reconstruction going, the World Bank. I just cannot imagine this going on for more months. And I can't imagine the United States and President Biden being able to tolerate that politically.
And apparently also Blinken was in
leadership.
Israel. Blinken was in Israel.
Yeah,
the Israeli press is reporting that.
He said you have 2 weeks or whatever.
That you have weeks, not months, and you need to wrap this
you.
up and blah, 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 blah. And apparently he told them this, like, how long is this going to take? And the whole cabinet told him as long as it takes. We don't have
Agree
a
to
time
that.
limit.
I mean, a lot of them are holed up in nice hotels in Doha, and even the ones in Gaza. They're the ones who perpetrated this terror attack on October 7th. What's in it for them in that, beyond their personal survival?
Yeah, I would just, what's in it for them is obviously the survival of so many people in Gaza, so many Palestinians.
They don't
who
care about
claim to
that.
represent.
Right.
We know that
this guy's an effing fool. These leftists are fools.
Yeah.
They're fools.
They think that the goal of Hamas is for like people in Gaza to live a better, freer life, which it is not.
You know what it is? I think they think like them.
Yeah.
Like Americans. They don't have the same values. They don't give a flying F.
Well, yeah, which is so, maybe it's just we lead too coddled an existence and we're too far from death and destruction and evil, the everyday evil that people used to face back when like the Roman Empire or Hitler or whoever was roaming the earth, that it doesn't occur to us that sometimes people don't think like us.
Right. Oh, and part of it, I think, is just it's another like version of radical chic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they're so interesting. These militant Hamas people. Wow. Aren't they interesting? Yes, they're interesting. The intelligentsia from the Tom Wolfe stuff when they invite them all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
they care about them. They never would have started this war.
Right. Isn't having civilians killed sort of part of the plan?
Yeah, that may be, but I think
Tom Friedman is a dumb human being. He is.
I think that they're in a position now where they have visited so much destruction on their people for now so little. I think they have to, in their own minds, be thinking about how do we show something for this? If they can pull off a giant release of all 6,000 Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails for the hostages, a kind of all for all, at least they'd have.
You heard that right.
So the terrorist criminals who kill Israeli people. There was one that I don't know, somebody famous that I don't care about had tweeted it on her Instagram. Maybe one of the Hadid sisters, because they're all into that.
Yes.
But like, oh, this poor little Palestinian prisoner that was released, he was only 13 years old when he was put into an Israeli jail in solitary confinement. Yeah, that's because he and his cousin stabbed an Israeli 13-year-old who was just riding his bike down the street in a knife terror attack and stabbed somebody else as well. I mean, like, what?
So this guy Friedman wants to give back all of the prisoners who went through the judicial system,
right, of Israel,
for hostages, not just animals.
Right.
Give us our hostages. This is insane.
Can
These
you
are who's
free
living
all
in
the
brownstones in Manhattan.
Can you free all the hardened criminals that want to kill you in exchange for the people that the hardened criminals who want to kill you just kidnapped and tortured? Can you do that for us so that we have more of them now so we can come back and do this again?
Something to show
Madness.
For that terrible destruction that they have invited on their population. So I have a feeling they have to be thinking about a lot of this. This ceasefire wouldn't have lasted this long, Anderson, if all they were doing is just getting ready for the next round. But who knows? Maybe they are. I don't claim to have any particular insight, but just
You're the foreign policy guy from the New York Times.
Feels like the chemistry around the story is changing. And I think as we approach the end of this ceasefire and we contemplate a resumption of this war with the terrible human costs that would be, with the uncertainty of victory for Israel, I think there's going to be some fresh thinking here. I sure hope there will be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how Israel goes into, as you said, Han Yunis and into the south, where hundreds of thousands of people have been told to go. I mean,
how they go into the south is that they go into the south. They get 300,000 troops and they pour in. That's how they go in. And they go in and they kill all the Hamas. That's what they do. Holy frig.
And then once that's done, then we can discuss how we're going to set up for the future. But yeah, no, I mean, the Hamas people just don't think like Western people do. They have different priorities and a different mindset and view of the world, and particularly of Israel.
All right, Albie.
Okay, so I want to see if you can guess this because as we've talked about, our 8-year-old talking to him is like a pop quiz every day, like just with repeated questions, a lot of which you don't understand, don't know the answers to. You might have no idea what he's talking about. And this happened to me yesterday. He asks me what an EASE alarm is.
What an EASE alarm is.
An EASE alarm.
So is that easel? Is that part of his easel downstairs?
No, an EASE alarm. And I was like, an EASE alarm? An EASE alarm? What are you? And I said, like, where did you see that? And he said, I don't know where I saw it, of course.
Right.
Because he's worried he's going to be in trouble for looking at something he's not supposed to look at. I'm like, where did you see it? I don't know. It's okay if you don't know what it is. He says to me, I'm like, no, I mean, I just have no idea what you're talking about. What does it do? Like, what is it? And he said, I'm not sure what it does. I was hoping you would know. Maybe it wakes you up or tells you there's a fire or something. And I was like, an EASE? That just sounds like a regular alarm. Like, why is it an EASE alarm? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I guess I'll just wonder forever. Which made me laugh. Finally, I go, well, how is it spelled, EASE alarm? And he said, it's spelled EAS.
How does he know about EAS?
I don't know how he knows about it. But yes, I said, oh, that's the emergency alert system. That's when everybody gets.
Where do you see that?
I mean, people get EAS, like the cell phone alarms and stuff, right? Maybe his iPad gets it?
I don't know, but I can't believe you didn't ask. We have some questioning
we have to ask him more questions. Yeah, no, he didn't know where he saw it, he said, but it's an EASE alarm.
It's not bad. But I would, I mean, I thought of EAS, I did, but I thought it would come in as a test. That's how I know it, but not as an alarm. But we're going to ask him where he saw this. Why would he not give us that information? Like I saw it on my iPad.
He doesn't know. He says he doesn't know where he saw it. He just wanted to know what it is.
It's not something he could have pressed.
No.
So this isn't the SOS thing that I've hit before. No. So the cops have showed up here.
No, yeah, that's annoying when phones are equipped with the emergency 911 dial and the kids hit it by accident. It's a problem.
Okay, my Cyril story is this. This is not a riddle or anything, but it's an observation, and it shows the difference in generations. So Cyril was talking to me yesterday about, well, he was in the passenger seat, about how my beard and how furry I am, and looking at all my white hairs.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yeah. I can even see a white nose hair you have without zooming in. And I said, Really? Without zooming in? He said, yeah, I was zoomed out and I could still see it. Is that interesting? It's like everything them, because in Roblox or all the stuff they play online, you zoom in, you zoom out. Like right now, I'm zoomed out and I can see you. I could zoom in, I guess. All right, what is the hot sauce, Allison?
The hot sauce is the Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce. They bring us the Chelsea Fire Wicked Hotline where you can leave a chat message for the show.
Anonymous naming convention.
Hey, Tom, when it comes to the Burn Barrel and the All You Can Eat podcast, I think the proper words that you may want to consider saying right now are, Steve was right.
Oh, well, he's... okay, so I invited Steve and Danny from Billerica.
Did you see his outfit today?
I haven't seen that yet. I'm on yesterday's. I missed yesterday's totally.
Okay.
So, but I will tonight. So yeah, I said that while you were like laid up, that me and the guys would do the show. But the thing is that the hospital system is different than with midwives, where they would let Alice go hours after she had kids, and then she would be here but banged up. There, me and Alice at the hospital, we had to stay over at the hospital, and it just threw off my schedule and her schedule. And then by the time we were here and settled, she was ready to do the podcast again. So that's mine. Well, I still do think it would be nice to have like a group special podcasting we could do. We could do that. We could just like shuffle through. I think it's a good idea. And then All You Can Eat podcast, and we should have Steve on. We also was thinking about having another guest too. But I'm all for that. And we've just been flying by the seat of our pants. But Steve did say, and we were going to have a sit down over tripe.
Yes.
And that would be fun, obviously. And because tripe is fantastic. And then I don't have to, I can eat, Steve eats tripe.
I'm not going to eat the tripe.
Fairly similar. It's too bad, dude. I mean, all you people who don't know tripe or don't love tripe, you're missing out. It's just a matter of you. That's the same reason. I mean, you're calibrated to love stuff that's terrible, like me, and like the food you love, but which is good for me. But I just feel bad for your palate. Dr. Cheswick, Gumada.
Tom, it's Guma.
Guma, okay.
Guma. I got my wife, then there's my Guma.
Ooh.
Wives, I take out Friday night. My Guma, I take out Saturday night.
Can I tell you about in East Boston in 1994 that the boys from the Hyatt who I worked with, these were all Italian guys, that one of the guys' name was Gerard, with an Italian last name, and they all liked me, but they knew I wasn't a threat of taking their women. They knew they could beat the crap out of me if they needed to, so they hung out with me. They liked me because I was like, I didn't speak like them, and they were amused by me. So they took me out. They decided that they were going to create a mafia. Gerard and his buddies. I met him. I met with his cousins. They're like, yeah, we'll do this. We'll hit up stuff. And I'm like, and they decided since I was not a useful muscle and I had no skills, that I would be the Tom Hayden character. So I'd be the consigliere. In other words, I'd speak to civilized people. I don't know what it was. Never came together. I believe everybody, including me, was eventually fired. But I was fired from that, as a matter of fact.
Did you watch The Sopranos?
Yes, I do.
Haven't you ever seen it?
I've been rewatching The Sopranos.
He doesn't understand the words in it.
I don't understand some of those words. I like all the words. Believe me, looking at some of the physiques on those dudes, I would fit right in. Oh, I still think about Italian food. We've got a whole bunch of ricotta cheese downstairs in the fridge. I just wish if somebody could tell me right now that I have terminal cancer and I'm going to die tomorrow, I would rock the holy crap out of some pasta with that ricotta and sauce. I am a lot of aholics. I am first and foremost a pasta aholic. I would rock that and have morning, noon, and evening every day of my life.
Come on.
Yeah.
Get into the spirit of this thing, will you?
I'm not sure I'm social culturally appropriate. I do love Italians and Italian food.
Also, I know what Steve from Gloucester was talking about when he said you kind of invited him on your show when Alice was about to have Peter Rabbit.
Yep.
You discussed maybe having some guests on and getting some folks into your studio. You mentioned Steve from Gloucester. You even mentioned me. So yeah. I'm not hurt by it. I understand.
Well, we wouldn't have you in the studio because that would require us to clean the house. Which, unless we can somehow, so Cherry Picker can drop you off through the second floor window over here and do that.
You know, you get a little busy when the wife's giving birth,
Yeah.
and you have to manage 4 other monsters. So anyway, it's Guma.
Guma.
Get it straight, and get her a nice Christmas gift this year. You Guma. But she'll then call your wife and tell you, you know, that you're cheating on her.
Yeah, unfortunately, my wife is my guma. That sucks. That sucks.
Sorry.
If I brought home mafia money, I think you'd probably be happier to look the other way. Is that true or false?
I mean,
see the hesitation? I'm so almost greenlit. Just get me a gig doing something.
Why don't you bring home the mafia money first, and then we'll talk about what's on the table.
Wouldn't that be fun? You helping me pick out a guma?
Why would I help you?
What about, because it's just a guma. You're the primary. I'll get you a nice piece of jewelry, all right? Shut up, right? Is that right, guys? Coaching at Hearts. Ooh.
Hey, Tom and Alice.
Hey,
big news out of IU football. They have hired Coach Signetti. He has a winning record, was an assistant to Nick.
If you were to guess between 0 and 300, how many IU football games have you seen?
I suppose it's possible that one may have been on in like a bar TV somewhere where we were on a Saturday, and I didn't know.
Saban during those dominant Alabama years. Things are looking up for the IU football program. You know, if he takes them to a bowl game and they win one, that's considered a great contract, a great hire. Also, I saw Anthony Cumia. He had quadruple bypass.
Oh, did he really? Wow.
Surgery. And from what I heard from him was that they like sliced with a saw that middle bone where the ribs are. I guess it's the sternum. And then they just had a device in it spread out the ribs and everything.
Right.
And they put like stents in and all that, and I was like, oh my God. It sounds horrifying.
Scary stuff.
So I'm hoping Tom doesn't get one of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember your doctor in Melrose?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When he was telling you about things you could get, and you were like, you need to scare me. Can you tell me I'm going to have a heart attack? And he said, well, you're going to have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah. No, he was like, no, it's already.
He's like, I didn't know I had to tell you that.
You're probably having a heart attack, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he was a funny guy. That's a bizarre call, Justin, but I like that. You'd actually be good at KMS. That's very good. So we don't watch college football here.
But congratulations.
Yes,
I'm happy
IU.
for you.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Alice used to have an IUD. Oversharing. And as far as Anthony Cumia, I kind of like where his politics are. I don't like how he seems to be racially tinged a lot. I've heard him interview some people, and it's pretty funny at interviewing. I was never an opening Anthony guy. I was always pretty much a talk radio guy, so I didn't like stunts and all that crap. I didn't like Stern too much either. I was just...
By the way, we lost Shane McGowan and Henry Kissinger, both.
Yeah.
I was, honestly, I'm astonished he lived to be 65.
Oh, yeah. It's an amazing feat. Amazing feat. That's
It's a total win.
Yeah, totally. The only guy I saw him 25 years ago at the what was it? The FLA Festival, FLEAD Festival. Dropkick Murphys there. Mm-hmm. This is where I drank Hootie Blowfish's beers, and then went into among small groups of people. Alice, I'm a big leader, so there's only 4 of us. Me, himself. That's Ronan Sweeney. My then girlfriend, Supple, and then Ronan's girlfriend. And we snuck right around to the back where all the trailers were. Mm-hmm. Saw one that said Hootie and the Blowfish. I went right in. We went in there. There was no Hootie or Blowfish in the trailer, and we drank all the beer. And then went out, and then Shane McGowan, and it wasn't the Pogues then, but it was Shane McGowan. His band started playing. Mm-hmm. He hadn't shown up. The Stretch limo, which was like outdated for even that time, comes up. 2 people carry him on stage. He is slumped over, just dead. And the guy was with Ronan, who loves the Pogue, said, yeah, that's how he arrives at every place. He's obliterated every moment. And they put him up there. They held him, and they held him under the mic stand, and he was wobbling and moving and this and that. The music is playing, and he goes right into the song, and he's doing well. He does the song well. Like, he can do that. He's trained his muscle memory to do that. I'm sure he had no memory of any of his gigs. At some point, he had a problem with his bassist and went to attack him.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter was saying that they read a review of one of their concerts like 30 years ago, and the reviewer said it was uncomfortable watching somebody clearly like in the middle of killing himself.
Oh, he was,
and
and
that was 30 years ago. So
oh yeah, he was absolutely bleep faced, but
he didn't look good even when you saw like him on documentaries or anything.
No, he didn't look good then. He was missing. He had no teeth or anything. But the guy I was with said, yeah, this is like, there's a really good chance he's not going to show up. He just didn't show up. He was a rolling cluster bleep, but a very talented guy, and the music is great, and the Pogues are great. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Kissinger, I mean, I know you like to call him a baby killer, Alice, you know. I think he's a fascinating guy.
I think he's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's, and yeah, I don't think any of us considering baby killer. Although he did bomb the crap out of Vietnam, but in war, sometimes war happens. It's why we try to avoid it, ideally, which is why just 4 years ago we weren't involved in any.
Hey guys, just wanted to thank Tom for the 20-minute monologue on the dying radio industry.
Thank you.
Maybe next week, Tom, you could speak to repairing the canvas on covered wagons.
Well, I have no direct affiliation with covered wagons, but I have been.
If you needed somebody to repair the canvas on your covered wagon, Tom would not be the person to call.
That's correct. That's correct.
The other thing, of course, is we have Steve from Gloucester big dogging you into a spot on your show by touting his KMS appearances.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the burn barrel world will be fine without Steve. So I would say just let Steve call in on the chat, and he doesn't need to be a full participant in your show. That's all. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate the show.
Thank you. My pleasure. Wow, Alice. Unrest.
Attack on Steve from Gloucester.
Wow. Unrest. Fuzzle.
Hello, I'm calling to rant about Eversource. It charged me too much money. $204.51. And here's how you break this down. Supply, $48. Transmission, $14.44. Total transmission, $14.44.
Oh my goodness.
Fixed monthly charge, $9.62.
Yeah, we don't see our Eversource bill. We get a recording telling us our stuff is about to be shut off. That's our bill.
Sometimes those are a scam.
Delivery improvement, $4.28. Local delivery, $20.51.
Yeah, it's a racket, man. It's a racket, and we'll see.
And there is no transparency. It's just all these little charges on the thing. You can't.
Oh yeah, Alice Shattuck is in on this. She knows what's going on with that stuff.
Revenue decoupling, 28 cents.
Decoupling, that's great.
CTA, minus 16 cents. Subtotal local delivery, $34.53. FMCC charge, $1.15. Combination public benefit charge, $5.24.
Of course, why not?
Subtotal public benefit, $6.39. Total current charges, $103.88. Here is their bill, $204.51.
I know, man. I know. Fuzzle.
Only going to get better with the electric cars.
How beautiful is that? Revenue decoupling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. We got to add that on revenue decoupling. You wouldn't understand. It just is.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Getting a little concerned for Steve's appearance on KMS tomorrow.
Right.
I've listened pretty intently. I'm a huge fan of the show as well, as Steve said he was.
Sure.
But I don't think Kirk has quite the patience for Steve that maybe he did recently. I'm not sure why, but it was funny hearing Steve talk about how the KMS show is his go-to, and the burn barrel is his mistress.
Gumatz, yes.
And I just am wondering what Steve's opinion will be when Kirk eventually tears out his esophagus on air, and the Minifans disembowel him online. Will it still be his favorite show? Because I think that's going to happen.
Apparently, you
sooner
can just go
rather than
report it
later,
to
and
YouTube.
I'm concerned that it's going to happen tomorrow. But wishing him luck, and
We're all
keep
awaiting
your guard
his
up.
appearance.
Yeah,
bated breath.
I agree with that. Anything could happen as long as you don't take it seriously. Because if you do, if you feel invested personally, I would think that then I can't imagine. I can't imagine when you disturb the hive and they're given the green light to eliminate you. That can be tough.
Anyway, we'll check in on Steve tomorrow morning on KMS. Obviously. We are off. This is the last show of the week until Sunday. We will be back. We will be watching Lady Ballers on Friday. There's a new food show out, the All You Can Eat podcast with Tom Shattuck. Go listen to that. If you want to join the Patreon for live chats and everything, I'm trying to ignore you. Patreon.com/burnbarrel.